The Chicago Bulls fight in an entertaining game against the Boston Celtics. Unfortunately, they just do not have enough. A 42-point fourth quarter from the Boston Celtics seals the fate of the Chicago Bulls. They end up losing 138 to 129. We're going to talk about it all and more, but first, we're going to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on? And hold on, clearly I got to refresh. Give me 1 second. Thinking about leaving Restream. I just need to make it happen at this point. It has to happen. I don't know what's going on, why everything looks so bad. All of a sudden, I've been using the same song, or maybe we'll just switch to OBS. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'll just go ahead and make the switch to OBS. But y'all not worried about my technical difficulties, man. Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it for tonight, y'all. Hopefully everything looks better on y'all side of things at this point. But yeah, man. The Chicago Bulls, listen, they gave I can't knock the effort throughout most of this game. When you look at it, the Bulls gave up 39 points in the first quarter, but then they turned around and scored 37 to 28 in the second quarter of this game. They tied the third quarter of this game. The fourth quarter, unfortunately, was just not favorable to our Chicago Bulls at all. In the fourth quarter of this game, man, oh man, did things majorly change for this team in the fourth quarter of this game. And it was ugly is what it came down to. It was really ugly in the fourth quarter of this game. And we'll talk about that fourth quarter in which the Boston Celtics, let's just go over these numbers real quick. In the fourth quarter of this game, the Boston Celtics shot 65% from the field and 61% from the three-point line. And it's not like the Bulls shot overly bad themselves. They shot 47% from the field, but 46% from the three-point line themselves. Like, it was such a hot shooting fourth quarter from this Boston Celtics team. You had Peyton Pritchard, who scored 19 points in the fourth quarter alone to doom the Chicago Bulls in this one, man. It's unfortunate, and you can't have games like this where you just don't get much from Coby White. Vooch having a great day today. Hit 6 3-pointers. I think that they said that tied his career high. He had 32 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 29 points from Zach LaVine in this game as well, and no turnovers from Zach also. Zach only had 1 assist as well. Zach was out there shooting. 4 points from Josh Giddey, despite him having 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals in this game as well. 13 points from Ayo Dosunmu. The weakest link in the starting lineup today was Coby White by far. But then you got to talk about THT off the bench. 16 points from THT, 11 points from Torrey Craig off the bench. They're 27 points combined for more than we get in some total games from the bench in games. And they both shot efficiently from the field as well. No human white flags in Chris Duarte or Javon Carter in this game. Dalen Terry plays a really good game as well, man. But yeah, man, this game, man, it was a fun game to watch, right? And that's the thing for me, is that I could take games that are fun to watch. I could take that. I'm not mad at fun to watch games at all. I look at it and saying, hey, that's what you want. You want a game that's entertaining. If your team is not going to pull out the win, you at least want an entertaining game from your team. But unfortunately, in this one, like the Bulls just did not have it, man. That's just really what it comes down to. They did not have it. And when you don't, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's basically what happened by the Chicago Bulls today. They got their asses kicked. And it's by their own, shortcomings at times. They got to be able to execute. We need Coby White. I said it coming into this game. Having big performances from Coby, Zach, and Vooch are going to be really important to winning this game for the Chicago Bulls. And unfortunately, Coby White, if we would have had a normal Coby White night, we would have been right here in this game. I mean, we were in it for the most part. There are 2 different times in the fourth quarter where it seemed like it got out of hand, and the Bulls got it back down that first time. But, overall, like, the Bulls need to tighten up. We have no defense, and that's really what this comes down to as well. Another 40-point quarter given up. The Bulls have given up. Hold on, let me check real quick. I believe the Bulls have now given up 6 40-point quarters alone so far this season, and that definitely leads the league Um, but yeah, it's just it's really it's disgusting to be 100% honest with you. The number of 40-point court, like we just had a little a little bit of defense. That's just all you need. The same thing as with humble servant's mama. She just need a little bit of D. If we just had a little bit of defense, um, man, it just Bulls got to get this together, man. They really got to get it together. If they just had some defense, man, they could have been in a game like this. And that's really what separates the close games against teams that execute in this way. It comes down to who's giving the defense at the right time. And it just wasn't enough. The Bulls did not have enough defense in this game to really match with the Boston Celtics. And I got to give them credit for what they were able to do throughout most of this game, right? Because the Bulls the defense, and you know what? They gave effort defensively. Josh Giddey was out there giving effort defensively. Dalen Terry came in and made some really big defensive plays. Though, like it's not like there weren't any defensive plays made, but when you need to go into that second gear defensively, the Bulls just don't have that gear. They don't have that gear. And as long as that's going to be the case, man, they're going to lose a lot of these games. So it just, man, you know how good it would have felt for the Bulls to be able to win this game. It would have felt really good to be able to win this game, man. Coby needs to stint off the bench. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that agree with that, Troy. That needs, and I mean, especially when we're talking about changes that need to happen to the starting lineup. Coby getting cold like this, I could definitely understand where you're coming from. Not that I necessarily agree, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. This game was ours, but then we let that Pritchard cat go off on us terrible. Hey, Peyton Pritchard earned his money today. I don't understand why they kept switching Vucevic on to Pritchard, because you can only play Vuce in drop coverage or switch him. That's really all you can do, and he's not going to be effective in either way. Boston exploited Vooch on the pick and roll at the three-point line over and over, and Billy just watching it, letting it happen. Pritchard exploited into a tree, and also Coby isn't a smart ball player, period. But, I mean, what? Okay, let me ask you this. What was Billy Donovan going to do different? Jalen Smith is just as bad as a pick and roll defender. He's your only other big out there, right? So, like, I can understand if in a time like last season where we still had Drummond, right? That's really where you want to switch him. But, like, what are you going to do? Vooch was also the hottest your scorer tonight. So, like, you do need some scoring even if you get defensive stops. I understand where you're getting at that. I'm just saying that, like, what would they have done? They could have gone small. That is something that they could have done, right? Which is something that Billy has been apt to do before. So that's a feasible thing. But I think overall, like, there was really no fix to getting exploited in pick and roll defense for the Bulls tonight. Because Vooch isn't the only bad pick. We have a team full of bad pick and roll defenders. I said in the halftime show, when you have the lead, slow down the pace so that way it doesn't get out of your hand, because playing fast all the time can change the momentum. Well, that's not what really changed the momentum. I don't look at this game and saying that the Bulls played too fast and that's why they lost this game. To me, the Bulls lost this game because they just didn't have the gear that the Boston Celtics had. The Celtics went into kill mode in the fourth quarter behind Peyton Pritchard. And with Vooch already scoring 32 points, with Zach scoring throughout most of the game, that's when Coby, even on a cold night, should have been able to kick it up. And he didn't have it today. The fast break, when we were down 3 to get no points at all, yeah, that you got to get points in situations like that. You have to get points in situations like that. We definitely need Patrick Williams back. His defense definitely would have helped this. Oh, that's a fact, especially with the forwards that the Boston Celtics have. Patrick Williams' defense would have definitely helped with that. One player's defense no one can complain about in today's game is Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey gave effort on both sides of the ball. He gave effort on both sides of the ball. This game is on Billy. Even my girl said again when Vooch switched on the pitcher. Yeah, but you got to realize, like, it's not like teams force switches, right? The way that you run your offense, you can force a switch. And so it reminds me of the game. What game was that? I know if Brandon L. Jet's in here, he'll remember. The game where I said about 25 times the Bulls got killed by a simple pick and roll. That's just who this team is, with no rim protection, with no and keep in mind, we got bad pick and roll defense all up and down this roster. A simple pick and roll kills us just about every single time. Every single time. Eco Bean, first half Billy went 11 deep, second half Billy went 8 deep. That's the difference, tired legs. No, and Eco, you really do suffer sometimes from trying to oversimplify things. It's not just as simple as tired legs. It's not. Because even some of the players that we played 11 deep played 4 minutes. And unfortunately, I think you're wrong. 11 players checked into this game in the second half of this game. So we still went 11 deep in the second half of this game. Matter of fact, in the fourth quarter, 9 players played 4.5 minutes or more. 9 players played 4.5 minutes or more. We still played 11 minutes because Torrey Craig got in there a little bit at the end. But no, still went 11 deep in the second half and 9 and basically 10 deep. Like again with Humble Servant's Mama, 10 deep into the into the fourth quarter. So I'm just pointing that out. Bulls bad at pick and roll? What? Never. Exactly. It's systematic at this point. I don't think that'll ever change as long as Billy Donovan's here. I know it's early, but from this early snapshot, do you think Giddey trade for Caruso a good move or bad move? I mean, listen, it's always going to be looked as like what Alex Caruso brought. Like right now, it is what it is. Like I don't look at it necessarily as no. I mean, if I had to lean with that in the world, if it's good or bad, I'd say bad. Not because of Josh Giddey, still because of you got no picks back and you should have gotten picks back in that deal. So more so than that, and that's not just basing it off Josh Giddey's performance. Definitely want small. Giddey should have been out there. THT should have been out there. Hey, now they're both very bad defensively in pick and rolls, but they gave a lot of effort tonight. They did give a lot of effort tonight. But then you're going extremely small in that case, which again, if it works, it works, but we'll never know, right? Donovan should have trapped the ball handler, and they went to put Vooch in pick and roll. Yeah, who are you going to trap with, though? Again, it is what it is. Haize, you say you don't agree with the earlier comment about Coby needing a stint off the bench. What would you take? What would it take for you to agree? How much worse does it need to get? I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm going to agree. I'm not the coach there. So you don't need to try to convince me on what needs to be there. That ain't gonna help you at all. It's not gonna help you at all for real. Coby was hitting the big time plays in the fourth shore. He missed period. In the goddamn sentence. Punctuation. Sure, he missed a couple free throws. 3 throws. God damn it. But he made big time plays. And can you check the shooting percentage on what the team from free throw tonight? The team overall from free throw. Let's take a look. 81% tonight. We went 13 of 16 from the free throw line today. Haize, I love Zach LaVine, but the last play where Alonzo got that turnover and he took that 3, we were only down by 2. And on top of that, we were in the bonus. Was not smart basketball. And, the problem is Zach LaVine has done that a bunch of times over his career. And that's not, again, this isn't even a knock or to shit on Zach LaVine, but that is something that he's done multiple times. So, this is what it is there. Barkley's killing us in the worlds of Space Jam. That is hilarious. Hilarious. I don't understand no matter what team we play against, they have a prime Curry against us. I mean, that's been this team for the most part for years yet again. So this is systemic things here with the Bulls. Only 4 points off turnovers today. The Bulls finished the game with only 8 turnovers. Really good change of pace there. We did give up 50 points in the paint again, but we ourselves scored 52 points in the paint as well. So there you go on that one. Yeah, Billy isn't going to put Coby on the bench. He isn't that smart or brave. Brave. You know what? I do think that Billy probably thinks that, but I think Billy Donovan's also a coward. He got a little bit of floosy coochie in him. He got a little bit of that floosy coochie in him. Haize, do you think Billy will have to lose the locker room before Acme makes a Ryan Poles move and fire Billy? Or is Billy so made that losing the locker room won't get him fired? I mean, I think you have to look at any coach that completely loses a locker room. I think you got to look to move on from a coach like that. That's just my personal opinion. And that's objective to whoever the coach is. I don't give a damn if it was Greg Popovich. I don't give a damn if it was Phil Jackson in his prime. I don't care if it's Eric Spoelstra. I don't care if it's Tyrone Lue. if you lose the locker room, unless you plan on overhauling the roster. That's the only way. If you have a roster that you're literally sitting there and saying, all these motherfuckers gone in a year or two anyway, cool. Don't worry about it then. But if you have pieces on your roster that you feel you're going to keep, I think that anybody who loses the locker room has to get fired. That's just my personal mindset. Congratulations to Zach LaVine for becoming the Bulls' all-time leader in three-pointers made. Shout out to Zach there. Kobe's going to pass him though. As long as if Kobe signs another contract in Chicago, he's going to pass him in probably about half the seasons it took Zach LaVine to get it done. Zach did that tonight, and Kobe did it the other night with 3 on one break, shooting 3. I tell y'all all the time, Kobe and Zach are a lot more similar than I think some people want to admit, good or bad. Boston as a team just exploited all our defensive woes. It's facts. And that's what smart coaches, that's what smart teams do. They exploit other teams' weaknesses. I just can't understand how Giddey didn't get more minutes in the fourth. It was one of his best games defensively and the highest plus minus for the team. You know what it is at this point, John Smith? You know what it is at this point? And I don't know if it will ever change this season. All right. And this is not me saying I agree. This is just me trying to look at what's happening here. Josh Giddey, how he's been at times defensively, his reputation defensively, and overall his reputation of if he has to play off ball, he's not going to be great at it. Those 3 things are going to hold Josh Giddey back in fourth quarters this whole entire season, no matter how he's playing. And that's because Billy Donovan, and I've said this for years, Billy Donovan is the type of coach, if you start off the season, about 10 games in, if you have the same issues, he's not smart enough to see if you've changed it or not. He's at that point going to be terrified of the rest of the season of you doing that, and that just is what it is. And again, I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that you can tell that's what Billy Donovan is doing. Imagine they keep Billy in clean house. That would be bananas, bro. That would be bananas. With how well Connect has played, do you think Austin Reeves is attainable in the trade? I doubt it still. I doubt it, but I could be wrong there. On a positive note, you'll never have to try Vegemite while Billy is a coach. Apparently not. Apparently Billy's like, hey, how close is Giddey to a triple-double? He's about 80% chance he'll get it. Bet, don't worry about it. He won't play in the fourth quarter. Shay, they need Giddey for rebounds in the fourth. He was getting all the rebounds. They needed rebounding so badly at the end. Man, that's crazy. That hiccup hurt. That hiccup hurt bad in the chest there. There was one play in the front when Vooch left his man to guard Pritchard, leaving Lonzo to guard a big, and they just let it slide. We suck defensively. I mean, JK, I like, you know what it is at this point, right? I'm so not shocked by anything the Bulls do bad defensively that when shit starts going to hell defensively, I'm just like, that tracks. That tracks. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. So, that's just how the cookie crumbles here, unfortunately, fam. Same thing for Modest. Billy's slow to see change. Facts. Like, that's just who Billy is as a head coach. It's one of his limitations as a head coach. Billy Donovan does not adapt well once his opinion's set on something. What the fuck is wrong with my keyboard? What you smoking? Haize, Coby? No, they're a lot alike. They're, especially if you look at Zach early in his career. They don't score the exact same. I'm not saying they're the same player, but when you look at some of go and look at Zach's shortcomings his first 3 or 4 years, and then go look at some of Kobe's shortcomings his first 3 or 4 years. They're very, very similar. Very, very similar. Two 40-point quarters given up is just ridiculous, man. It's crazy. Crazy. Peyton is a sniper. Peyton Pritchard he's a nice player, especially on this type of Boston Celtics team. Like, he's gonna have a lot of big games. He's just gonna have a lot of big games. Manu should have definitely gotten more minutes in the second half. Yeah, I mean, listen, but that's the thing. The thing is like when you're playing in a close game, much like I said with Josh Giddey, Billy Donovan's gonna go off what his last thought of you was. Just is what it is there. Haize, have you noticed that we do a bad job of recognizing the hot hand in the fourth quarter? Vooch had 30 points going into the fourth quarter and had 32 coming in. Well, it's not as simple as that because other teams are trying to keep your player, right? So, like, I don't think it's bad at recognizing it. I think that the Bulls have a bad job at once a defense locks into something, adjusting. I think that that's the case, and that's the button mashing nature of this offense. Is that it comes down to who's hot so much that when you have one player that's hot, it's easy to stop that. That's why the Bulls are at their best, of course, and most teams will be when you have Zach, Coby, and Vooch all going. It's pick your poison at that point for opposing teams, right? And so at that point, like it's easier to overcome solid defenses when you have one player that's hot, a player that's tapering off, and a player that's been shit all game, and you zero in on the player that's been hot. It's easier to take that tool away from the opposing team, and the Bulls suffer from that a lot. Suffer from that a lot. I'm glad you explained Billy's methods in regards to playing time and not adapting. The cynic in me was starting to think he doesn't want better stats for Giddey to keep his price down. No, yeah, I don't think it's about anything keeping price down. That's just who Billy Donovan's always been. And I don't mean this as like a slight. Like if you're a new Bulls fan and following this team, thank you for coming here and thank you for joining us. And we're going to be praying with you here together, brother, because being a Bulls fan is frustrating. So if you are new to being a Bulls fan, this is just a Billy Donovan thing. Billy Donovan, like there's games, for example, Andre Drummond when he was a Bull last year. How many times did we see Andre Drummond, his defense, his rebounding, or just his energy help get the Bulls back in games? But because Billy Donovan only played him 16 to 18 minutes, as soon as that 15-minute mark hit, Billy Donovan's like, all right, thanks for your time, Andre. And you're like, wait a second. What? We need Andre out there. All last season we suffered that. So he's doing the same thing with Giddey, unfortunately, man. It really sucks. When they had the lead, they benched Giddey and we lost the lead and never got it back. Lose the Central and never give it back. This goes to show you his deep the Celtics team is. Shay, you see what you did to my chat, Shay? Did you see what you did to my chat? Lil Famo's never had a typo ever. Now look at you. You spread your disease to my beloved chat, my boy. This is all Shay's fault. Team is Derek White didn't even come back, and they replaced him with the sniper off the bench. That's what happens when you have a deep team, man. You're able to get away with shit like that. Remember when fans hated the great defense Tibbs teams had? That bad offense that made the playoffs every year. Now we have the exact opposite on every level. Well, I don't think people hated the great defense the Bulls played. They just wanted the offense to be better, not like be so point guard reliant. But I don't remember anybody ever hating that we had a bad defense. They just wish our offense was better. We actively hate the defense now. That's the big difference there. Haize, I know I mentioned this before, but you really don't think the Bulls offense will run better if they play through the post and go inside out? I mean, it could in stretches. You don't want to run like that the whole time. The Bulls don't have a 5-and-out team, right? That puts the Bulls in even more of a position to where they're just trying to just get hot from three-pointer. With having the guards that the Bulls have out there that aren't all great three-point shooters as is, right? Especially with Josh Giddey not really being a three-point shooter, not really being good off ball. I think that yes, you can run from the inside out some, but it doesn't mean through just the post and the post player. That could be through dribble and penetration, right? Cutting, those type of things. So, no, I don't think that's really going to help the team too much right now. Man, how he still catches straight. That's my little brother. Like, y'all don't understand. The reason why I give Shay so much shit is because legitimately, outside of any of his typos or outside this podcast shit, Shay is my little brother. Like, that's all jokes aside. Shay is one of the few people that can call me and be like, he'll be like this. This is how Shay would do. Hey, Haize. Hey, I know what you're thinking. I'd be like, what's up, Shay? I know what you're thinking. Yes, I do want you to come to Chicago. I'm having a birthday party. All right, Shay, how many hoes gonna be there? Hey, you know there's gonna be about 65 holes here. All right, bet Shay, I'm in that motherfucker. Like that's it. Shay's my little brother, so I fuck with him. He says, don't say shit to me. I've been on my best behavior when it comes to my spelling. That's a fact. That's a fact. I gotta commend you for it. Commend you for it, Shay. Yeah, really impressed with the lacking amount of turnovers today. I get we lost, but a good sign against a good team. Yeah, if the Bulls can just limit turnovers, they'll be in a lot more games. A lot more games. What up, Haize? Me and brother are on our way back from the game right now. What do you think about Modest coming in early and then not playing again? Yeah, it's that's weird. That's another Billy Donovanism. That's really weird. Yeah, that's really strange. So it is what it is, though. We love Shay, man. It's all good. But yeah, Shay's good people, bro. Shay's good people. Shay's really good people, man. They should fire the coaching staff, trade LaVine, trade White, trade everyone, Vooch for whatever they can get. Thank you for that insight. We appreciate you. Or even and start Modest. Well, thank you, bro, for that insight. We really appreciate you for that very thoughtful and well thought out and solid analysis. We really do thank you for that, Oren. One thing, Oren, is that we asked, like, what do we do to be worthy of you? What happened? How did we become to be so blessed by Jesus Levante Christ that he decided to bring you into our presence? We thank you for it. We didn't know what to do. We didn't think of any of that. And now that we hope that since you spoke it, that the scrolls of Moses will say that that is what's going to happen with this team. Let's hope that that's what happens. We will have 15 wins by the end of the year. Cool. Cool. This may be stupid, but if we trade Zach, I would consider putting Dalen Terry in that starting lineup just to balance out offense and defense. I mean, that's definitely going to get a reaction out of some people. THC had the crowd going today, also from my perspective. I mean, listen, THC played like that, especially that run that he got into in the first half. That was crazy. Because THC being our third leading scorer count as development? I mean, maybe. Hey, sound like your boy keeping them parties at 90% slut to bro ratio for you. Hey, no, hold on. Wait a second. We're not gonna have that narrative out there. That's not for me. That's for Shay. That is for Shay. That's for Shay. That's not what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and end that right now. Why would we start DT if we trade Zach? That makes no sense. Shay probably starting whoever we trade Zach for. Not if we get D'Angelo Russell back. We are nowhere near Wizards bad. Come on, guys. We win a few games here and there. They win a few games never and ever. That's hilarious. They can find minutes somehow for Ball, who's been out for the past 3 years, but nothing for Modest. This is a joke. Thank you again. Thank you again, Oren. We really appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you bring to this channel. You really should probably take over. The next time that I have to take a day off, Oren, I will turn the channel over to you. You can host a post-game show. Even my mother, who started watching the Bulls again for the first time in 10 years, says Billy's an idiot. I mean, Billy Donovan's a little. He's touched. He's touched. That's what the old people used to say back in the day. They're touched. That's a polite way of saying it. Let's not forget Coby was questionable tonight. Coach's decision. Yeah, but the medical staff wouldn't have played him if it wasn't there. Coby 3-10 class. Yeah, it was a bad game for Coby White. Crazy to think that Boston aren't even guaranteed for the NBA Cup. If Magic beats Knicks, they're in. If Knicks beat Magic, they don't make it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, so who are you giving the best defensive play from the Bulls to tonight? Giddey? Probably. Honestly, probably. I hate when random things activate Siri. It's so weird. We getting locked on tonight? No, not tonight. Not tonight. I just did a locked on earlier today. So no locked on tonight. Your boy tired. The fuck was that? You ever seen some crazy shit happen? I wouldn't even tell y'all what just happened if I could, man. The Wizards are actually tanking, getting picks. We're not. They will be better than us in the future. They're doing the smart thing. I won't say necessarily tanking is smart. We'll see. Doesn't guarantee anything. Billy puts more thought into the flavor of gum he's chewing than the game plan. That's crazy. Fuzzy vid. Hold on. Let me refresh real quick. Give me 1 second. Hopefully that's better. Restream been tripping. Late in the games is pretty good. Appreciate you gone recently. Haize most consistent. Recently? Well, I've been doing this for 3 years at the same level. Don't you no, I appreciate you as well, brother. But yeah, we've been doing this for the same way for years at this point. Who doing Locked On tonight, Haize? What do you mean who's doing Locked On? I'm not. There's no other host on Locked On. So I guess that means you're not getting an episode tonight, play. Yeah, that's not what's happening, man. I don't usually do Friday nights aren't usually a Locked On night. If Coby can start being consistent on the offensive end, it would be a game changer for us because Vooch has been the most consistent in Zach as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a consistent Coby White changes a lot. He changes a lot for the team. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys so much, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap this on up, man. Make sure you guys stay in tune with us, man. You guys can follow the channel at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. And more importantly, tomorrow is a mailbag day. So get your voicemails in. Number to do so, 773-270-2799. Again, I'm gonna put it up here again for the people that are a little bit slow in the back. 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. That's thanks to you, loving, beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
Presentation of the Break Media.